welcome to our Christmas Festival online event. I'm Simone from the Timbertop Estate Residents Group, and I have with me Luke Williams, lead pastor from Follow Baptist Church, who we partner with for our annual Christmas event here at Hicks Reserve.
Merry Christmas, everyone. It's so great to be here. Even though this year's a little bit different to previous years, still important to gather at this time of year and encourage one another and just bring some of that Christmas spirit. So hopefully we can do that today. Well, what a year, Simone.
It's been a crazy one.
They say unprecedented. That's the word of the year, isn't it?
It is, definitely, yes.
But there's a good reason for that. We never saw this coming. So it's certainly been a lot of pivoting and adjusting, some of those other buzzwords that we've all used this year, but it's been quite incredible. And 2020 is coming to an end. And I think some people are pretty happy about that. Yeah, most people want to see 2020 in the rearview mirror. But we think it's important to finish focusing on the hope that we have for better things to come. And so that's what this is all about. And so, Simone, what are you hoping for this Christmas?
Yeah, I'm really hoping for some time with family and friends. I missed out on a lot of time with friends this year, so I'm looking forward to spending some time with them, some good food around the Christmas table, maybe a couple of days break as well, just to recharge the batteries, and look forward to a big 2021.
I think most people are probably similar. I think January will be a bit of a ghost town this year. I think everyone will be out on holidays and just resting up, but I'm also looking forward to that Christmas dinner. My parents are regional, so I haven't been able to see them very much, and my brothers were outside of the 25k mark, so I'm just looking forward to Christmas Day, sitting down and eating lots of roast meat and enjoying that, and just focusing for me on what Christmas is all about, the birth of Jesus. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But Christmas isn't Christmas.
That's right. Christmas is also about bonbons and crazy dad jokes.
And corny jokes.
That's right.
That's right. So I'm a dad, so let's see who gets the joke.
All right.
Ready, set, go.
Oh, it's me. All
it's
right, let's find out.
Mum joke today.
Mum joke. Let's find out. Okay, Luke. So how does Christmas Day end?
Ooh, probably me rolling around after eating too much.
No, with the letter Y.
Oh,
good one.
That's hilarious. I don't know who comes up. How do you get a job writing those jokes? Because I reckon any of us could do that. So, very good. Well, in the same vein as everything else this year, the Timbertop Christmas Festival is going to be a lot different than it has been in previous years. Of course, it's online, but we want to make it as good as it can possibly be. We are, of course, here on site in the middle of Hicks Reserve, which is in the middle of this amazing Timbertop estate with all of you incredible people. And so, unfortunately, we're not all together celebrating Christmas, but hopefully you're enjoying this and celebrating anyway. Next year, we're planning to be back.
Yes.
Bigger and better than ever. So same place, same time of year, all the same fun that we've had, rides for the kids, Christmas carols, food, all those important things.
Definitely, yeah. But we still felt it was important to connect and celebrate together this year, albeit a little bit differently. But I think this year, maybe more than ever, we need to share the joy and the hope at Christmas time.
Absolutely. A big part of that's Christmas carols, right?
Definitely.
Love singing Christmas carols, and obviously at Timbertop Christmas Festival, that's always a big part of the second half of the night. And so our amazing Follow music team have prepared some or pre-recorded some carols for you to enjoy. And the first one is one the kids will love. It's called Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And so kick back, relax, belt it out as a family, and let's enjoy this together. Stand by, here we go. And then, right, 3, 2.
Better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town, Santa Claus is coming to town, Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, he's checking it wise. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town, Santa Claus is coming to town, Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, he knows when you've been bad or good, so you better be good for goodness sake. You better be good for goodness sake. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. sleeping. He knows when you're away. He knows when you've been bad or good. So you better be good for goodness sake. You better be good for goodness sake. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not cry. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. 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 Santa Claus is coming to town.
Well, welcome back, and we hope you enjoyed that Christmas classic and that the Christmas spirit's starting to rise.
That's right.
This time of year, you want to get that sort of feeling starting to happen, and if that's happening for you tonight, then we're doing our job.
Definitely.
So, one of the other ways you know it's Christmas is the giving and receiving of gifts. Have you got some presents under the tree, Simone? Or?
Got a couple under there. None
Yeah.
for me though.
No,
All for the family.
It's never
Kids.
for us, is it? It's always
right.
for the kids. And so, kids, I guess the big question is, this year, have you been naughty or nice? Have you been good? Is Christmas going to be good for you because Santa's going to visit? Or have you been naughty and you're going to miss out? Well, one thing I do know is that this year you spent a lot more time at home. So I guess the best people to ask would be the parents. Your kids been good?
Of course.
Yeah, my kids
Can
have
only
been pretty
say, of
good
course.
too. So I think Santa Claus will visit them this year, so I think they're pretty relieved about that. So Simone and I are going to be like Santa Claus this year for the Timbertop Estate. But we've got a gift for the adults, because usually the kids get all of the fun, and so it's important that the adults get a Christmas present as well. And so we've got a giveaway. So I'm going to invite Lockie Pryor. Welcome, Lockie.
G'day Luke, g'day Simone.
Hi, Lockie.
Lockie is from
Bermuda Coffee.
Roasters. So it's great to have him with us. So Simone's going to ask some questions about Bermuda.
Yeah, Lockie, tell us about Bermuda.
Well, Bermuda Coffee, we're a coffee roaster. So we import green beans from all around the world and we roast them up in our roastery in Clyde and we deliver them all around the Cardinia area. So we've got lots of customers here in Officer and the surrounding area. Basically, we actually started this year in the lockdown. We've been roasting our own coffee at home for quite a while, and we thought, well, let's share it with the people while they're stuck at home, you know, not being able to go out to the cafe, not being able to go to the office for their normal coffee. Just some nice, fresh roasted coffee, which we think makes all the difference, and people have been enjoying it.
Awesome. So I hear you've got a prize for us today.
We've got something to give away, a few things, hopefully. My hands are empty at the moment, but hopefully they'll be full very soon. Here we go. This is our Burmese signature. So this is a blend of coffee from a few different countries. It goes really well with milk, it goes really well black, it goes really well all around. So it's got a little bit of different flavors, chocolate, toffee, apple written there on the bag. So that's our Burmese signature coffee. Now if you're not super into coffee, we've got something else for you. We've got our drinking chocolate. So this is actually from a Grounded Pleasures company. They're over in Geelong. They're a great local company. So we get our drinking chocolate from them, so you can have some of that. You can't have hot choc without some mellows. So I got some marshmallows from them as well.
look great.
Now I don't know if you're not into coffee, if you're not into chocolate, we've got you covered. We've got good old chai. So this is your spiced chai, also from Grounded Pleasures, who are a great team over there. And to top it off, if Santa hasn't got to them, we're going to have some nice cookies as well to go with it, just for your Christmas Eve. So you can put those out, or you can
I do hear
polish
Santa
them off
likes a good
yourself.
cookie.
Exactly right, yeah. So we'll see how that goes. So these are our goodies that we want to give away as part of our Christmas Eve hamper here
Awesome.
at Burmese.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Bermuda Coffee.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. The question is, how are people going to win it? Well, we've got a randomizer with all the lot numbers put into it, and the winners are going to come up on the screen right now.
So if that's you, congratulations. Someone from the Residents Group and Bermuda Coffee will be around to drop off your prize shortly.
Congratulations to the winner, and Merry Christmas from all of us at Bermuda Coffee.
Huge thanks to Bermuda, and as we said before, kids love Christmas, and so we want to hear from the kids this Christmas time at Timbertop. So many awesome kids usually running around at this very park, and so Simone now is going to ask some of the local kids some questions about Christmas.
Jet and Isla, can you tell me about Christmas time? What does Christmas mean to you guys?
That you get presents.
Yeah? And what about you, Isla? What's good about Christmas?
That you get to celebrate.
Can you tell me about Christmas, Billy and Bob? What happens at Christmas time?
I love Christmas time because it's all festive and you get to put up the lights, Christmas tree, and sit around the fire with my family.
Fantastic. And what are you looking forward to most at Christmas this year?
Seeing all my relatives because I haven't been able to see them much this year.
Yeah.
So.
And what do you think you might do this Christmas?
Eat lots of food.
Do you have any presents under the Christmas tree?
Mm-hmm.
At home already? Do you know what they are? Presents? Is it a surprise? You've got a younger brother too. Have you two been naughty or nice this year?
Nice.
Yeah, Mum would say the same.
Yes.
Billy, what would you like for Christmas this year?
A reindeer and a unicorn.
A reindeer and a unicorn. Awesome. How does Santa know what to bring you?
You send him a list what you want,
Right?
and then it goes to the North Pole where he lives,
Mm-hmm.
and then his elves make it.
Right. Yep. And so what are the elves making you for Christmas this year? What have you asked Santa for?
I've asked him for a Nintendo Switch,
Uh-huh.
a Barbie caravan,
Right.
a basketball ring, and some Legos.
Is Santa going to come this year, do you think? Have you been naughty or nice?
No.
You've been nice. I'm sure you've been a great big sister, Billy. And have you been a great little brother, Bob? Fantastic. What have you asked Santa for this year?
I've asked him for some jewellery and a new surfboard.
Do you leave anything for Santa when he visits your
Yeah.
house?
Chocolates and beer, or chocolates and milk.
Chocolates and beer or chocolates and milk?
Carrot
For Santa?
no, for the reindeer.
Oh, for the reindeer, of course, yep. So Santa's going to come on Christmas Eve. Are you going to leave him any food or drink? What might you leave him on Christmas Eve, do you think? 'Cause he's going to be very tired and hungry and thirsty after flying all around the world, delivering presents. Does he drink water?
No.
Ah, no.
Milk.
Milk. Yep. And what does he eat?
Cookies.
Do you make your own cookies for Santa?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Do they have big chocolate chips in them? And do you maybe eat some of those cookies before you give them to Santa?
I do.
You eat them.
Well, how good is it to hear from the kids at Christmas time? You can see the excitement, you can hear it in their voices, and I'm sure they're looking forward to a wonderful 2020 Christmas this year. Well, right now we're going to go into some of the Timbertop homes. We've got a couple of homes, and they're going to tell us a little bit more about how they're gearing up for Christmas this year.
We're really looking forward to Christmas.
For Christmas, we're getting ready by wrapping up some presents and spending time with family and catching up with friends. And also to our neighbours as well. So we've got some something to look forward to coming up and catching up with our neighbour friends. Christmas means spending time with family, getting together and
Giving.
And giving. Yeah, we love giving presents and seeing everyone happy and excited.
I think what I love about Christmas is the night before, getting ready for presents and putting carrots and biscuits out for Santa.
What I love about Christmas is celebrating being around people and having lots of delicious food to share with everyone as well. We like to have big Christmases and spending time with family.
Hi, I'm Liza and this is Ben. We have a 2.5-year-old called Hugo and we all live in the Timbertop Estate in Officer. We've lived here for about 2 years and we absolutely love it. We're super excited to be here for Christmas this year and to celebrate with all of our neighbours.
What I love about Christmas is everyone's happy, and I love seeing kids excited and full of joy when they receive a gift and open their presents. I also love the food.
What I love about Christmas is just the general excitement in the air. Everyone's winding down for the year, they're more relaxed, they're taking holidays, you catch up with family and friends you might not have seen for a while. Christmas to us means a chance to celebrate with family and friends, catch up with loved ones, but also has an extra special meaning because we can celebrate the birth of Jesus. We believe Jesus is the reason for the season, and we're privileged to celebrate that.
Merry Christmas!
Well, at Timbertop this year, I thought it'd be good just to share briefly about hope, because no doubt about it, 2020 has been a really difficult year. A lot of people this year have struggled with mental health and isolation away from family and friends. And it's also been a really polarising year with politics, whether it's in Victoria, Australia, or right around the world, even over in the US. And so I think it's good to talk about hope. I know for me personally, I'm a pretty resilient person and I don't usually go up and down very much, but even myself this year as a pastor of a church, I've had some good days and some not so good days. And so I think everyone has been feeling it, and really no one is unaffected by the events that have been thrust on us in 2020. And so I want us to pause for a moment. Just pause and give yourself a pat on the back, because it's been a tough year, but you're still standing, or you're sitting like I am, but you're still here. And so well done for getting through it. And I think that's really important. So this year at Follow, we've encountered many people who have found the circumstances of this year just incredibly difficult. Throughout 2020, we've been able to partner with the local community, and we've been able to provide over 20,000 meals of non-perishable food to people in our community who are doing it tough. This has led to many in-depth conversations as we hear people's stories and we hear about their struggles. And as we hear those, we hear that many people are struggling to have any hope for now, and particularly for the future. You know, when life is tough, we can easily lose hope. But one of the things I love about Christmas is it's such a hopeful time. It comes with a message of hope. Christmas is a time to come back together. It's an opportunity to remember the great things that have happened, but also look forward to the things that are going to happen in the future. Those things of new hope that come about at the end of a difficult season. It's a time to reflect, and it's also a time to project. It's a time for family, for fun, for holidays. I'm sure some of you are really looking forward to those this year. To sunshine, to rest, and a time of fresh vision. It's a time to connect. It's a time for Christmas lights, and you've got a great competition happening here at Timbertop. It's a time for breakups, for roast dinners, and it's a time for the kids to get out and explore. And who can forget the opening of gifts on Christmas Day and the look of joy in the eyes of some of the kids as they open up their presents. If you're a parent in this estate and you're anything like our family, you've probably done the Christmas shopping by now. If you haven't, you better get on with it because you've only got a few days to go. But you're probably hiding the presents around the house. And as the kids get older, that definitely gets more difficult. This year our son's getting a basketball ring, so I really hope he's not watching this or we've just blown the surprise. But where do you hide a basketball ring? It's in this huge box. And so we've got it behind the couch with a sheet over the top, hoping that, a ball doesn't go over the top or he ends up behind the couch somewhere. But Christmas time is a time of so many fond memories. And my hope and prayer is that you and me and all of us will have many of those memories at the end of this year. In Victoria, at Christmas time this year, of course, we've got the extra fresh hope of being coronavirus free and hopefully resuming life as normal with some of the new lessons and hopefully some of the new rhythms that we've learned through this season. And I think everyone's excited about that, filled with hope to get back to life as we know it. Well, this year, hope for you might be getting back to that life of freedom. It might be found perhaps in your family, in your friendships, or perhaps in the new opportunities that await you in a new year. And they are all wonderful parts of life. But at Follow, for us as Christians, we find great hope in the person of Jesus, through his life and example, through his death and resurrection, and through the hope he brings for life now, but also for the future. It's a hope that can't be shaken despite our circumstances. Even coronavirus can't shake it. And so at Christmas, it's time for us to reflect as we celebrate his birth And that's what so many of our Christmas carols are all about. If you're looking for a church service to attend this Christmas time and you want to do it from your lounge room and hear more of this story and the hope that we have, you can stay on this link after the Timbertop Festival and join us for our Christmas service at Follow. Also this year, if you know anybody who needs assistance this Christmas, we are more than happy to help. We're based in Officer. We exist to be a blessing and to help people in need as we represent the love of Jesus in this community. And so if you know anyone who needs help with non-perishable food, toiletries, a Christmas hamper, or help in any other way, you can contact us at the email that's now on the screen. It's info@bless.org.au. As I said before, we hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Enjoy the time with your family, your friends, enjoy the freedom we have again, and remember the reason for the season and what it is for you. Well, Timbertop, it's your time to shine. Well, at least that's the name of your Christmas lights competition this year. And I know Timbertop get right into this, right, every year?
Definitely, yeah. We've got some inflatables. We've even got a snow machine this year.
People go all out, and I want to say thanks to everyone who does it, because we as a family love meeting some friends who live in Timbertop. And we walk around and it's just wonderful. The kids stay up a bit later. They get really excited about Christmas. So thanks for all the effort you've gone to. But now it's time to announce the winners. So Simone.
Yeah. So thanks to Parkley, we've got 3 $500 gift cards to give away.
Wow.
We've put it to the people and the votes are in. So if your name appears on the screen now, you are one of the 3 winners of the $500 gift card. A member of the residents group will be around to drop off your prize shortly. Thanks again to Parkley for your ongoing sponsorship of the Timbertop Residents Group and supporting us in providing community events.
$500 vouchers. That's a great start to Christmas for whoever's won those. So well done, congratulations. And if you didn't win this year, come back again, try again next year, and great prizes again next year. So well done. Well, it's time for us to officially finish up the Timbertop Festival online edition.
On behalf of the Timbertop Estate Residents Group, I'd like to thank you all for being part of this wonderful community. I know the Residents Group is looking forward to coming back bigger and better in 2021 and organising some events for us all to come together and celebrate as a community.
And on behalf of Follow Baptist Church, we want to wish you a really Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We hope it's a really special time with family and friends. And we're looking forward to partnering with you again in 2021 to make this event a spectacular event like it has been the last couple of years. Don't forget, you're welcome to stay online on this link if you want to be part of a church service this year. The Follow Church service is happening immediately after this. But yeah, we thank you for joining us and being part of it today. And we're going to finish with a bang with a Christmas classic. Everyone knows it, so you can sing it in your lounge rooms. It's called "O Come All Ye Faithful." Merry Christmas, everyone, and enjoy.
Yay!
Yay! Woohoo! Whoa!
This song is called Jesus Was Born on Christmas, and it is sung to the tune of a very well-known Christmas song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, featuring our little followers, Quaich kids. Jesus was born on Christmas, on a very holy night, and in the sky above him shone the very brightest light. Oh, love, the heavenly angels sang a song to praise his name. They taught the lonely shepherds, so they left the sheep and came. From the east the wise men roam, bringing gifts to share. Riches for the King of Kings, to show the Saviour that they care. Now we celebrate his birthday in our hearts and every day. Jesus in your humble manger, your true love is here to stay. A star is born. Merry Christmas, everyone!
"'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Hey everyone, and welcome to Follow Online Christmas Eve. I'm Lachlan.
And I'm Esther. It's great to have you here for Christmas Eve, even if it does look a little bit different to last year's Christmas Eve.
Yes, it is very different, isn't it, Esther? We're not together necessarily, although, yes, we are together, but we're online. So we're not gathering in the quadrangle to have sausage sizzle and picnics and shooting hoops and catching up again, reminiscing on the year that's been and clambering inside to sing carols together. We're not necessarily doing that together, but we still wanted to do it online, just like we've done church online all this year.
That's right. And look, we may not be together in person, but we can still be focusing on all the good things about this year. I know that you're probably sitting at home in your PJs and having a wonderful coffee, and you'll be much more thankful having that coffee than if I'd made it for you. It would be horrible. So there are plenty of things to be excited about for this year. Let's talk about what's going on.
Yeah, well, that's right. You really want to be dwelling on the hope that we have in Jesus this year, on the good things, not the bad that have happened all year, which has been our theme all year. Hope, or not all year, well, yeah, all our lives it should be our theme. But in December, we've been focusing on the hope of Jesus' birth, which is coming soon. And let's focus on the good things. What about some highlights for this year? What have been some of your highlights this year?
There's been some tricky things this year.
Yeah.
I know you haven't quite gotten there yet, but I did mum school at home. Now, I am a teacher by trade, so everyone's like, oh, it'll be so easy. Mum school is a little bit different at home, so there's plenty of bribes. But I didn't have to do any lunch boxes. All the mums and dads out there are like, we know what you're talking about. No lunch boxes for ages, so that was a bonus. Staying in my PJs and tracksuit pants all winter long. I didn't even have to try on a pair of jeans. I didn't have to wear heels, or I could just stay in my slippers for a very long time.
Me neither. No heels
Heaps
for
of
me.
fun things.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. Well, what about you? What was good for you?
Oh yeah, highlights. I mean, it was a downer of a year. We were working from home for most of the year, but that meant a lot of extra time with wife and little 3-year-old, so I could knock off work and just walk out into the living room and start interacting again. I started a business in a COVID period, which I never thought I'd do.
Well done.
And we've got baby number 2 on the way. So it's been a good year for us as well.
Very good. And I don't have any more babies on the way, so that is a good year for
Even
me.
better news. So it's been a great year and it's going to be a great night. So what have we got in store for us tonight?
Oh, we've got lots on tonight. We're going through the Gospel of Luke, and we're also having Adam and Luke are going to, it was a lot of Lukes, but Adam and Luke are going to be bringing us the word tonight. And we're also going to have carols, of course.
Of course, it's Carol's night. So let's get into it. We've already had the one carol, so we're going to have a Bible reading now. So enjoy.
In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. This was the first census that took place while Quirinius was governor of Syria. And everyone went to their own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, the town of David, because he belonged to the house and line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger because there was no guest room available for them.
Gee, what a deal for Mary, hey? So she's had the Immaculate Conception, she's been visited by angels, she's carrying the Son of God in her womb, and now she's got to go right across the land for this head count.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, preparing a nursery, I've had kids for myself, so I know what it's like, but yeah, I wouldn't want to be going anywhere heavily pregnant, thank you.
No, thanks. Yep, my wife is the same as well, and yep, it's just here to the fridge, to the bed, to the massage, that's all thanks. But you know, it was all part of this plan. It was, the Jewish tradition, they believed that the Messiah was coming and was going to be born in Bethlehem.
That's right. And God has these really great plans, and Mary and Joseph trusted in those plans. In Galatians 4:4, it says, "But when the set time had fully come, God sent his son, born of a woman, born under the law."
Yeah, how cool is that? He always knows what's going on. He has a great plan. We're going to continue with another reading from Luke chapter 2.
And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today, in the town of David, a Saviour has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in clothes and lying in a manger."
Now, Christmas Eve is all about fun. And normally with Follow Kids, we'd have the jumping castle out the front and we'd be having lots of chessboards and things like that out the front too. So instead, let's play a game. Are you ready?
A game. I love games.
Yeah, well, this is a game called Mad Libs. Now, you might know it. You probably did it if you did drama club at school. I didn't do drama club, but we do some fun games in Follow Kids. And Follow Kids, you actually had this on your Follow Kids online a couple of weeks ago, so you might have already done it. Now, what Lachlan has to do is I'm going to give him some words. Actually, no, I'm going to give you some prompts for some words, and you're going to give
you the words.
me the words.
I'll give you the words.
Does that make sense?
Okay, here's a word.
Oh, no, don't give me that.
Let's do it.
So, let's do it. Here we go. You ready?
Okay.
All right. So, we're going to write in these words.
I'm just going to give you words.
You're going to give me words. And it's
I
going
don't
to
know what's going on here, but I'm just going to roll with it.
It's going to become part of a story.
Oh.
Here we go. You need to give me a boy's name.
John.
Quick game's a good game.
Yeah, sorry.
John, good one. Okay, name of a city.
Adelaide.
Oh, well done. Animal.
Piggy.
Piggy. Type of toy.
Train.
Oh, type of jewellery.
Necklace.
Well done. A big number.
25.
That's a huge number. What about an action word that ends in ing?
Smile-ing.
Ah, ing. Very good. Smile-ing. Action word that ends in ing again.
Oh, okay. Smelling.
Oh, okay. And give me another big number.
100.
Ooh, that was a bigger number. And a describing word.
Cool.
Oh, and one more describing word.
Interesting.
All right, let's see how the story goes.
Okay, so what happens? I'm going to read this story, am I?
You are going to read the story.
Let's see how it goes. Okay, it's story time. Once there was a little boy named John. He lived in a town called Adelaide. He lived with his mum, dad, and a pet piggy. Everything was great, except for one problem. He never knew what he should give his mum for Christmas. He thought maybe he should get a train, but that might not be right for her. He thought about a necklace, but that might cost $25. He thought about smiling or smelling to make her smile, but that would be too tiring. Smelling is pretty tiring. He thought the best gift for his mum would be give her a hug, so he gave her 100 cool hugs, and they had an interesting Christmas. Well, thank you for that, Esther. That was very interesting, as I say.
Interesting Christmas.
What's not going to be interesting, what's going to be awesome is going to have another item. It's a carol from our music team. So take it away, guys.
Suddenly, a great company of heavenly hosts appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace to those on whom his favour rests." Once the angels had left them and gone back to heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about."
All right, we've got a special treat for you tonight. We're going to hear from one of our ministry areas. We've got Leanne Griffiths here, who runs the Bless Collective ministry area. So Leanne, why don't you just tell us a bit about what that is?
So for those who don't know, Follow Bless Collective is a charity, a not-for-profit charity, and it is a care arm of Follow Baptist Church.
Fantastic. And it might have looked a little bit different than other times in Bless. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, definitely. This year, obviously with COVID, we had a lot of restrictions. So this year we had to close the food van for a number of months, which was really sad because we usually operate on Tuesday and Thursday nights, giving out hot meals to people. So this year we switched to care packs. We already gave some care packs out, but this became a massive care pack project. And we have given out over 20,000 meals in this time.
Wow.
So you can imagine how different it is.
Yeah, okay. And so apart from the care packs, what have been some of the major highlights for you guys as a ministry this year?
Oh, just seeing the whole community pull together, it has been amazing. All the donations that have been coming in, all the volunteers have been on hold, yet they've been able to help in different ways. And we've actually achieved becoming DGR status, which means full not-for-profit charity status. We've finally got a bank account. That took us nearly 6 months to open with restrictions and not being able to meet in person. We've put in for grants. We were successful with 2. We're waiting on a 3rd. We may or may not be successful. But yeah, just everyone pulling together and the council really supporting us.
Fantastic.
It's great. I'm sure there's been some challenges as well. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, well, having all our volunteers on hold, we didn't want to put people on hold, but for their safety and everyone else's, and the amount of room on our property with amount of people per space that you're allowed, we had to put people on hold. So to have big shipments of food coming in, because also, I forgot, we were successful with Food Bank Victoria and bringing in food from them. So we've had massive deliveries, we've had people donating, and we've had a very small team of people packing, unpacking, putting in orders, all that sort of thing. So yeah, it's been huge.
Fantastic. So it sounds like the year's been different, but it's been a great success as a ministry. What's coming up in the short term, in the next few months and beyond for Bless?
So we've just given out all of our Christmas care packs. That also has been a massive project. So we've had lots of donations for that. And packing has gone out to schools, it's gone out to housing organisations, and it's gone out to families in need in this area. The next step is now to get Food Van back up and going. We're hoping for March. We're hoping to do training with volunteers in February. And we're hoping maybe to do some life skills with people once we can meet one-on-one with people.
So if anyone wants any more information or wants to get in touch with you or about the Bless, just a quick email address or something for them?
Yes, info@bless.org.au.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Leanne, for joining us. It's a great ministry.
So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby who was lying in a manger. When they had seen him, they spread word concerning what had been told to them about this child. And all who heard were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. But Mary treasured all these things and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had heard and seen, which were just as they were told.
We hope you enjoyed the Follow Kids ABCs of Christmas.
Tears for angels and halos so bright, whose carols were heard on that first Christmas night.
Peaceful bells and merrily ringing, joy to the world is the message they're bringing.
Seize the candles that so brightly shine to give a warm welcome to your friends and mine.
D is for doorway with garlands of green to make Christmas merry as far as they're seen.
E is for evergreens with fragrance so rare, so plentiful at Christmas, there's circles there.
F is for fun the whole season long, from trimming the tree to singing a song.
G is for greetings and merry hello, with a hat full of love for the people we know.
Hoo, hoo, hoo! Merry Christmas! H is for holly with berries so red to make into wreaths to hang overhead.
I is for ivy that clings to a wall. The tree in the window, brightly lit and so tall.
J is for Jesus, the Christ child so dear. We honour his birth on Christmas each year.
K is for Kris Kringle, so merrily he stands. He is the one who they call Santa in so many lands.
L is for lanterns. I am sure that their light helped Mary and Joseph on that Christmas night.
N is for Mary, her heart full of love, for her little son Jesus who came from above.
N is for Noel, the angels did sing to herald the birth of Jesus our King.
O is for ornaments, so shining and bright, with lights on the tree to sparkle at night.
P is for packages and gifts galore, all round the tree, carefully spread on the floor.
Q is for quiet. Christmas Eve night. We're all in bed after hunting Christmas lights.
R is for reindeer who pull Santa's sleigh. To your house, to my house, they know the way.
F is for shepherds who foster the star
Over Bethlehem's manger and followed it far.
T is for trees without snow or ice. Wait for old Santa. Ho, ho!
Was I naughty or nice?
U is for universe, where Christmas brings joy for all of the world to each girl and each boy.
V is for visiting friends near and far.
or chatting on Zoom
or driving by car.
W is for wise man who brought gifts so rare. They knelt down and worshipped the child they found there.
X is for Christmas, but Christ is left out. And Christ is what Christmas is all about.
Y is for your neighbour.
Your friends, your family. Those you bought gifts for that are under your tree.
Z is for Z, as children sleep tight, parents all hoping until Christmas morning's first light.
Dear God, thank you for giving us the gift of Jesus, the greatest Christmas gift of all. Thank you that because we have Jesus, we have hope for today and the future. Please help us to remember why we celebrate even as we eat Christmas cookies and open presents. Even if this year has been a weird year, we love you and thank you for Christmas, reminding us each year of the hope that Jesus brings. Amen. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Hope. From the rooftops, I hear its name. But does it ever descend?
We walk below living lives, as broken as the pavement we stride along.
Each crack in the sidewalk representing a fresh pain and open wound.
The first, a depression that tears our heart to pieces.
Next, the anxiety that deafens us to truth.
Our marriages are hanging by a thread.
Abusive relationships that make us feel trapped and alone.
The pains of life that remove all joy and all passion.
Brokenness that destroys who we are.
Each crack turns the hope above into a mocking jeer.
Each upward gaze a silent cry for help. But with each step, another day gone without freedom.
But
hope is not dormant.
hope is not still.
Hope is not asleep.
Hope is not dead.
Hope is active.
Hope is moving.
Hope has a name.
Hope offers life, and life to the full.
Depression and anxiety are no match for hope's fiery love.
Brokenness and pain are silenced in the roar of hope's promises.
Separation from the Father is answered by hope's broken body on a wooden cross. As we walk the pavement and wonder where hope is.
Hope is here. Hope has come.
Hope has a name.
Jesus.
Well, fantastic. That was great to hear from our Follow Youth and our kids ministry as well.
Yeah, thank you to the parents and the kids who got involved and sent in those videos. Instead of doing a concert in person this year, you have sent them in and we've made a beautiful online video, which has been really fun and really special. So thank you for that, you guys. It'll also be on our Facebook page, so you can check that one out there too. And thank you to the youth team. That was really wonderful. We're going to go to a Bible reading now from one of our Follow Kids.
Isaiah 9 verses 6 and 7. A child will be born to us. God will give a son to us. He will be responsible for leading the people. His name will be Wonderful Counselor, Powerful God, Father who lives forever, Prince of Peace. Power and peace will be in his kingdom. He will continue to grow. He will rule as king on David's throne and over David's kingdom. He will make it strong by ruling with goodness and fair judgment. He will rule it forever and ever. The Lord of the heavens' armies will do this because of his strong love for his people.
In the dead of night, a cry broke out. The stars held still, the wind stood wide-eyed, and the earth, it stared with mouth wide open. For the King of heaven and earth had broken through time and space, humbled himself so much so that we could hold him close to our chest, see him with our eyes and trace his face with our fingers. The King of heaven and earth was now among us. In the dead of night, a cry broke out. The Father on whose shoulders we'd always leaned on, the one who would catch our tears, had bound himself to become hope made flesh. In the dead of night, a cry broke out. It was the long-awaited answer that all of creation had been waiting, longing, and groaning for. A king acquainted with grief and scarred by love. A king who would bring creation close to his chest, catch our gaze with the fire in his eyes, and heal our wounds with his tender touch. The king of heaven and earth had returned to claim back his throne. In the dead of night, a cry broke out. Heaven had unveiled its greatest gift and wrapped it in human flesh. He would be the lullaby that would hush all of creation's fears, vanquish the monsters that threaten, and usher in an era of peace. The King of heaven and earth was now with us. In the dead of night, a cry broke out. The stars rushed forward, the wind whistled past, and the earth, it heaved a shuddering breath. For as the day dawned upon the horizon, all of creation awoke. For the King of glory has shined his light upon us once again. In the dead of night, a cry broke out. For Jesus Christ was born on Christmas Day.
So great to be here tonight, getting so close to Christmas now, Ads.
Yeah.
Excitement's building up, and we've got the nativity scene here. Nativity scene, you know, once you see one of those,
yeah,
you know Christmas is coming.
Absolutely, it's familiar. You go to all the shopping centres and all the Christmas cards and the decorations, and, you know, it's not a scene that's unfamiliar in our society.
Absolutely. So it is familiar. Is it a little bit too familiar?
I think it might be. You know, when things, you see it a lot, you sort of lose the essence of what it's all about. And I think we might be getting to that point where we need to really recenter around, okay, what is this actually all about?
Yeah, it was a good chance to do that tonight. I know in years gone by it was in the Maya windows, and these days it's replaced with a whole bunch of other stuff. But
That's right.
For many years it was the feature of the Maya windows, and I think people are just very familiar with it. So it's great on this time close to Christmas to be able to unpack that story again and talk about the reason that it brings hope for us.
Yeah.
And that's really what this is all about tonight. So, you know, there are many significant events that go on in our world, but there's a reason that we find this so familiar, and that is because this event undeniably changed the world. And so there are many significant events that have happened right throughout history, but we don't remember most of them, certainly not every year.
No, that's right. And, you know, this one's changed the course of history, and our calendar system was built around it. And, you know, it's such a significant time of year. And, I think with such a significant time, we need to know why. Like, what's it all about?
Yeah, well, I think at Christmas we remember that hope was literally born and placed in a manger. And that's what we celebrate together at Christmas, particularly as Christians. And we know that 2020 has been a tough year for so many people. And so to finish the year talking about hope, this year is maybe more important than ever before. And so that's why Christmas is great, because Christmas is all about hope.
Hope, absolutely.
And
hope
so,
born in a manger.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about it. It was so good today to have, you know, some of the fellow kids do Bible verses and take us through Luke's gospel and the story of Jesus' birth, the actual narrative of what happened in that time. But the last verse you'll notice wasn't from Luke's gospel, it was from Isaiah chapter 9. And we're going to focus on that tonight. And Ads, what was different about that verse?
That verse was actually written in the past. That was not something that was happening at the time. That was actually how many years?
About 750 years before Jesus was born.
That's
the prophet Isaiah gave a prediction. We call it a prophecy.
A prophecy,
And so it's pointing towards an event that's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
And so 750 years out, they predicted the birth of Jesus.
Yeah.
And so God spoke through Isaiah for that. So really quite incredible that they've been waiting so long for that to happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, it's one of those things about prophecies, you know, 750 years earlier, and there's prophecies that date back even older than that.
Yep.
And, you know, all these messages about the Christ that was to come, you know, you had to understand that people in those times were waiting with anticipation for the Christ, for the Lamb that would be their sacrifice, for someone who would take away their sins and reconcile them to a God who loves them. And that time had finally come. It was an exciting time.
Yeah, so week one you spoke about prophetic hope.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about what you said that day.
Yeah. So if you missed the first part of this series, feel free to go back and watch. But yeah, prophetic hope was all around looking at some of those messages and, you know, the things that people had been saying about the Christ that was to come. There were over 300 prophecies in the Old Testament around the Messiah that was to come. And we looked at the study by Professor Stoner, who talked about what are the chances that someone, any one person would be able to fulfill those prophecies. And he looked at just 8 of them, and the chances of one person fulfilling 8 of the 300 plus prophecies is 1 in 10 to the 17th power, which is a massive, massive number. And as he adds more prophecies in, the number just gets so, so huge. So
get me right, that's 8 prophecies, so there's 300 prophecies, that's a lot of zeros.
That is a lot of zeros. So it just shows us that, you know, we can put our faith in Jesus because it's him. It's always been him, and it's always going to be him. And it's great to celebrate that.
So God's people, they got this prophecy 750 years out, and they're waiting year after year, generation after generation, for this promise to actually be realised. And so after 750 years, Christmas, the very first Christmas, it finally arrived. Now, we're not that great at patience these days.
No, we're not. We're not. We tend to, you know, credit cards, and we want things now. And, you know, speaking for myself, I like playing some video games now and again. So anyone young out there who plays video games, you know how frustrating it is when you turn on your console and, you know, update required for a game you really want to play, and you've got to wait for the update. And, you know, we're just, as a society, we're not that good at waiting for things.
No, that wheel of death on the computer when you're waiting, it feels like forever.
Absolutely.
Or when I go through the Macca's drive-through, you know, if I've got to wait 3 minutes for a Big Mac, it's like, what are they doing in there? Like, I'm hungry, you know. I would have eaten in if I wanted to have a, you know, full dining experience.
That's right.
We're certainly not very good at patience. And so 750 years, these people had been waiting for this promise to come to pass. And then finally, in verse 6, we read that it happens. And the prophecy said, for to us a child is born, to us a son is given. And so in the person of Jesus, this prophecy comes into fruition, and it's a wonderful thing. And I just try to imagine what that birth would have been like, and being there on the moment. I know I've been there for the birth of our kids, and the first one I was at was Taylor, and I got to deliver Taylor, and so I'm there, you know, waiting for the catch, and she sort of slid out. It's obviously a little bit more difficult than that. It's kind of easier for us guys, but more difficult for our wives.
Absolutely.
And Taylor finally came out, but she had like the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck, and she was like blue like a blueberry. So at that point I kind of panicked. It's like,
absolutely,
you know, and they came in and kind of grabbed the cord and ripped it over the top, and she came back to a normal colour again, which was, she was a bit like an alien there for a while, so quite a relief. But then I remember even with Annika and Lenny, I just remember when they were born, they were sort of wide-eyed, like they were wide awake, and when they heard my voice, it's like they kind of looked up and like, that's what you look like. And hopefully they were impressed with what they saw. I don't know.
Surely they were.
Surely, yeah.
Surely.
What about you?
Yeah, it was the same. Like, you know, I was adamant that I wanted the first thing in this world for our children to touch would be my hands. I wanted to catch all of our children, and I did. And, you know, I remember with Keziah, our firstborn, it was such a crazy experience, you know, the whole day of waiting for this. We were anticipating, you know, this beautiful little angel to come into our lives. And when she finally was born, it was just such a mix of emotions, of, you know, disgust, because it's a really gross thing to happen, but also just overwhelming joy because, you know, Christine gave birth in the shower, and we just hugged our daughter together in the shower, and we just wept because we just felt so much joy around this little angel that was now in our care, and we just thank God for her. So it's a beautiful experience, and one I'm sure Mary and Joseph and so many more in the community were so joyous about with Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been an event in my life where so many emotions kind of intersect all at once. You know, you got relief because your wife's been pushing and you feel a bit helpless in that moment. And then, you know, there's absolute joy, and then there's real pride as you look at this new child. You think, that's our kid. And then there's obviously gratitude to God for, you know, everything that's gone on, and you sort of celebrate the culmination of a journey in that moment. So that first Christmas, it would have had all of those emotions plus the 750 years of waiting. And so it's like, wow, it's finally happened. So it would have been quite incredible.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we underestimate that, I think. We have the gift of hindsight. So we look back and we read the Gospels, and we sort of think, yeah, we understand all that. But I just wonder, how does it actually give us hope today?
Well, it gives us hope because if we looking back can see who this Christ was. You know, we see the story of the baby in a manger, and you're watching today, you might be a Christian, you may not be, but you might be familiar with the story of, you know, this baby in a manger. You've seen the scene around, but, you know, he grew up to teach us all about God's kingdom, and God's kingdom, which we'll talk about in a moment, is so fantastic and so reliable and so everlasting. It's a great thing, but also that he would die for our sins. He would reconcile us to God and let us have relationship with this God who previous to then has been relatively distant to man because of the things that we carry, the sins that we carry. So, you know, it just brings hope for all of us in so many ways.
Yeah, I think for me it gives hope because you saw all those prophecies that you spoke about before, talking about Jesus' birth and the probability of all that happening, and it happened.
Actually happened.
And yet there's still some amazing promises in the future.
That's right.
And so for me, if God was faithful to all the stuff that was promised at Jesus' birth, then we have great hope and expectation that God is faithful to the other promises he's made. And so whatever you're going through in life, there's that hope that kind of transcends all of that. And I think that's really beautiful. And those future promises are pretty amazing.
They're pretty good. Like, you know, again, one thing they're pretty good. They're pretty good. One thing I've learned about God is that he is absolutely reliable and he does what he says he's going to do. And the promises he's got for all of us going forward are so amazing. You know, he talks about, you know, the kingdom that we're going to experience once we pass this life, and that we're going to be in a space where God's going to wipe away all of our tears. There'll be no more pain, no more suffering. And you know what? I want to be in a place like that. I want to be where that kingdom is. But I think that, you know, we're called to live that kingdom a little bit now as well.
Yeah, imagine that our world with every bit of evil and pain, every broken relationship, every bit of hurt, sickness, injustice kind of sucked out of it and replaced with what it's designed to be, like love and joy and peace and reconciliation. And all that's our future.
Absolutely.
And so I really love that. And I think, we have a responsibility, I guess, to be living that kind of life now.
Absolutely.
And so we see from history God's faithfulness. We have great hope and confidence for the future. And some of that comes from the attributes of our God. And this passage goes on to talk about that in verse 6. It says that he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And I just love that first one, you know, Wonderful Counselor.
That's great.
There's times where we need people to come alongside us and bring counsel. It's kind of a really caring posture. It's where you have guidance and it's where you have care and love and someone who listens and empathizes. And we know that Jesus, God in human form, he empathizes with us in our weakness because he's been through incredible suffering, being persecuted, all that sort of stuff. He's been through it. And so he understands what we're going through and he's always present. And so he's with us and in us, and we can go to him at all times and he'll help us. And that's the beautiful thing about it.
Absolutely. And he's also talked about the fact that he's a mighty God. You know, we experience lots of different things in life, brokenness and, you know, mental illness and relationship breakdown, financial strain. And, you know, tomorrow's never certain. You know, we are always going to face these curves in the road, and, you know, they throw us sometimes. They hit us for six and we don't know really how to tackle any situation. But you know what I love? I love when we think about mighty God, it takes me back to when I was in grade 6. When I was in grade 6, I was invited to go to Luna Park for free, for free. Yes. And I remember going to Luna Park, and I'm not a huge roller coaster guy, so I didn't really want to go on all the big roller coasters. So I looked around for a ride that would be suitable for me, and I saw one that looked like a UFO. And I went in it, and it's the Gravitron. The Gravitron, right? So I go in there as a grade 6, and all the other grade 6s are, you know, from all the states, schools around Victoria, are going into the Gravitron, and it starts to spin. And at first you sort of start to feel your hands not be able to come off, and it's really struggling to move anything. And then, you know, it starts to speed up even quicker. And when it starts to speed up even quicker and those the pads that you're laying on, they slide up, that's when the chaos starts to set in.
Starts moving upside down.
Yeah, the kids who are really courageous go upside down, and, you know, and you start to hear the screams, and you're hoping no one vomits, because if they do, it's going straight back.
It happens.
Yeah, it does. It does happen. But you start to spin so quickly that you hear the whirring of the gears in the machine, and, you know, thoughts naturally come in of, you know, imagine if, like, you know, a cog broke loose or a nut and a bolt loosened. This thing's going flying, you know? And there's a level of chaos there, and there's a level of, you know, I know this is a ride that's been, you know, made safe, but what if, you know? And you look around the Gravitron and all the kids have that same look on their face of, man, I am freaking out. But there's one person in the Gravitron who's not like that. And that's the operator. Because he's done it before, he knows the machine, and he's not spinning.
Not at all.
He's not actually.
He's like a fixed point, isn't he?
Absolutely.
We're all out of control. Like, we can't control our bodies. Right. We can't control what's going on. We don't have the roads to break.
That's right.
This guy's just sitting there with his music and
he's having the greatest time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's us for life. You know, is that we're in this journey, life, and sometimes it spins like a washing machine, and we don't know what tomorrow is going to look like, and we have all these thoughts about what if this happens? That's going to be the worst thing for me. The relationships I have, what if they break down? My finances are stable right now, but what if they're not going forward? You know, the mental illness, will I ever come out of it? And we're in this space of chaos and anxiety and worry, but there is an operator. There is God who knows everything. He's sitting on the throne. He's in control. And he's not worried about what tomorrow might hold because it's all in his hands. And when I think of a mighty God, I think of a God that no matter what I face, he is in control and he is okay, and I can hold on to him.
Yeah, absolutely. There's times when we feel out of control, no doubt about it, but God's sovereign. And, even 2020, it's not a surprise for him.
No, that's right.
So there's nothing he can't help us through. So I just love the fact that he's a mighty God. But it says he's everlasting Father, Prince of Peace as well.
Yeah, everlasting Father. I didn't have the best father growing up, so it took me many years to actually get used to what is a father, because a father for me was someone who I had to avoid and walk on eggshells and worry about their moods. But I've learned that that's not who God is. Yeah. I've looked through, God through the lens of my earthly father instead of looking at fatherhood through the lens of God. And, God is someone who nurtures us and protects us and cares for us and loves us. And, I just love that about God.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, I had the opposite experience. I had a wonderful dad, a dad that was always looking out for me, and it wasn't perfect, but it was always a really caring dad. And so when I think of God as Father, it's positive emotions. Awesome. But like you said, we've got to look through the other way and realise that God is the perfect Father, and he will never abuse us. He will never leave us. He will love us unconditionally, and he's always there for us, which is wonderful.
Absolutely.
And of course, he's the Prince of Peace as well.
Peace. Yeah, and, he gives us that peace that surpasses all understanding. And I love that thing about peace. It's not that you'll have peace in everything. It just that means that you'll have peace in the situations because you know God. Yep. You know who he is. Like you understand, again, he's that mighty God. So if he's able to handle every situation that comes your way, you have that peace that surpasses all understanding. And that means you have peace when you really shouldn't have peace, but you have it anyway because God's that good.
Yeah, when it makes no sense whatsoever, you can still have that peace. And this is what we're talking about. This prophecy, this guarantee of future hope is built on a person who is exactly what we've just described. And that's wonderful. And so this great hope we have rests on this one baby born in a manger, Jesus Christ, God in human form, and he carries with him the hope of the world. And then in verses 6 and 7, it talks about the government. And it says, and the government will be on his shoulders. Of the greatness of his government and peace, there will be no end. Now, I haven't heard much about the government this year. Have you heard much about it?
No, it's been quiet on the government front for 2020. I don't think I've heard anything.
Pretty happy?
Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy with the government.
Yeah, okay, let's be honest now. 2020 has been a year of unprecedented criticism, uncertainty, mistrust in governments all around the world. And even in Victoria, we've had like that full spectrum of, opinions about our own Premier. And I don't think I've ever seen the world more divided around politics, not just here, but overseas as well. And
absolutely.
And so when we hear about this government being under Jesus' control, that he's leading this government, I think sometimes, once again, we look at government through the filter of our governments and go, oh, I don't want to talk about
government's a bad word.
But we've got to actually, once again, reverse it.
Absolutely.
And realise that this government is not like the earthly governments that we've become accompanied to.
That's right.
And this government is on Jesus' shoulders and he reigns, and it's a government of peace and justice, righteousness, and it will never end.
It will never end. And that's one of my favourite parts about it. We see in governments that leadership changes all the time. In America, it's every 8 years they have a new president and we're voting all the time, or maybe, in the government, people are kicking each other out, and it's just so unstable, and you never know what tomorrow is going to hold in regards to what we're chasing as a nation, or what we're chasing as a state, or what we're chasing as a council, or, it's all so different, and you never know what tomorrow is going to hold. But Jesus, like the kingdom that he's offering, the kingdom that he wants all of us to be a part of, it doesn't change because God doesn't change, because it's built on his character of, as you said, peace and righteousness and justice and truth. And, it's a wonderful kingdom to be part of and to have that stability going forward. And
I find great reassurance that our confidence as Christians is not on any earthly pope or prime minister or president even a premier. Our hope is on the risen and returning Jesus, the King, whose story started that very first Christmas.
Yeah,
here in a manger.
That's
so, like you said, our governments are up and down, and policies change, people's change, promises are broken, motivation shifts. But the government promise here is guaranteed and eternal. In difficult times, it is easy to lose hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, Eds, what do you think are some of the things that people in our world put their hope in?
Yeah, we put our hope in a lot of different things. We put our hope in our family. We put hope in our careers, in our finances, in our mental health, in our regular health, our physical health. But I think when it comes down to it, all the things that we put our hope in is really ourselves, because, it's very hard to let go of the reins and say, I'm going to hope God with my future, trust God with my future, and I'm going to trust God with the things I'm facing right now. And it's unfortunately, it always leads to pain.
Yeah, and I think those things you just mentioned, all of them, including our own confidence
Yeah.
at times, has been completely shaken to the core. So
Absolutely.
And I think at times we've looked to our government for the answer.
They don't
Okay,
have
we're
it.
going through a hard time. We'll wait for the next Dan Andrews announcement. We'll wait for the next regulations to come out,
Yep.
and they're going to get us through this time. But
That's right.
really, it's a futile hope.
That's right.
So the government of Jesus is actually the government that's holding all creation together.
Absolutely.
And, it's promised by God here, it's described, and it's a secure hope for us. And it remains in all the circumstances of
Yeah.
life, even through a year like the one we've just had.
Yeah.
Life is a little bit like a roller coaster.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you're up the top and everything looks good and you're feeling pretty confident. But then,
Yeah.
when the roller coaster goes down, you don't like those, right?
No,
so
absolutely,
when it goes
I don't.
down, your stomach goes and then you're down the very bottom and then you're going up again. Life's a little bit like that. It's
Absolutely.
up and down. And if our hope is built on those things that you just described, ourselves, our families, our bank account, all that sort of stuff, they're going to go up and down.
Absolutely.
But the thing about being a Christian is that in the midst of it, we have a hope that never moves because
Yeah.
it's built on the rock. It's
That's
built
right.
on Jesus Christ.
Jesus,
And He's on the throne and we can trust Him. And
Absolutely.
it's a wonderful thing. And He's on this mission to redeem this broken creation that we're a part of.
Absolutely.
And, I think that's a really wonderful thing. In His earthly life, He really modelled that for us. And
Yeah, absolutely. Through the Gospels, you can just see Jesus living the kingdom in the way that He loved people and showed mercy and grace and compassion. And, it's such a great reading the Gospels because we're talking about this amazing kingdom. And honestly, the words that we're giving it don't do it justice. But, going through the Gospels and looking at what Jesus talked about and the kingdom that was coming, it blows you away. And to know that it's found in Him as a character, as Him as a person, and it doesn't change. It's just, why wouldn't you want to be part of that kingdom?
Yeah, and the thing I love about being a Christian is that God says that we're His co-workers. And so Jesus comes and announces this kingdom and He says, you're to pray like this, that your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And that actually happens through us as we live lives of justice and peace and love and generosity and all those things. We're actually representing a future kingdom that we look forward to.
Absolutely.
That has been promised.
Yeah.
But we see glimpses of it in the present. And for me, we're part of this big dream that God has for creation to redeem and restore all things. And I think that's a really wonderful thing. And so
I agree.
how do we know this is going to happen? Well, we come forward to that last verse that we read today, verse 7. It says, the zeal of God will accomplish this. I love the word zeal. We never use it, do we?
It's such an underused word. It's when I think of zeal, I think of like just being, what wakes you up in the morning and what really excites you. And, I was talking to a couple not long ago who they love soccer. Absolutely love soccer, and the soccer team's in Melbourne, and they told me a story about how they were in Shepparton once, and there was the game coming up, so they drove all the way down to Melbourne to watch this soccer game, and then head back again because they had a zeal for their team, and God's going to accomplish this through His zeal because He's passionate about it. He wants it. Why do we have this baby Jesus who is going to reconcile us to God? Is because God wants it to happen. He wants you. If you're watching today, God wants you to be part of that kingdom. That's what He's passionate about. It gets Him excited. Yes, that person is going to be part of my kingdom. And you know what? That's so good that God wants us.
That's awesome. Yeah, amazing. We don't deserve that. That's grace.
Absolutely not.
Undeserved love. But He's so serious about seeing this hope realised and this kingdom and government established that He sent His one and only Son. And that's just the incredible thing about this baby. It's not just an ordinary baby. This is God's own Son, God in the flesh. And so we celebrate Christmas still 2,000 years later because Jesus wasn't an ordinary baby. He was God in the flesh.
Absolutely.
And He came to make a way for us to be in relationship with Him. And the thing was that there was an obstacle between us and a holy God.
Absolutely.
And that obstacle was sin.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sin is simply the things that we do wrong. And God is holy. He can't tolerate that. And so our sin separates us from God. And so God did something about it. He sent His Son and He came down from heaven to earth and He lived this perfect life. And then on the cross, which is what we celebrate at Easter, He died in our place. He took our sin upon Himself. And as He stretched out His hands, He says, it is finished. And the great news of the gospel is that when we put our faith in this person, Jesus Christ, what He did for us through His life, His death, His resurrection, our sins are forgiven because they're placed on Him and He's paid the price. And that means that obstacle, that sort of barrier between us and God is removed.
It's gone.
And we come back face to face. We can be in relationship again. And it's absolutely wonderful. We are declared innocent because Jesus paid the price for us. And so the question I want to sort of ask you towards the end is, this is for the kids really, but who loves receiving gifts at Christmas? Okay, the kids and the big kids. We love receiving gifts, right? All the kids right now got their hands up. But adults, you will know that you love to receive gifts as well, but you'll also understand the joy of giving, particularly if you've got little kids in your house and as you give them a gift and they unwrap it all, you see the joy and the laughter on their face, and hopefully it's the present they were wanting.
Absolutely.
And then there's a lot of joy. But, Jesus said it's more blessed to give than it is to receive. And so Jesus, 2,000 years ago, was the greatest gift ever given. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son. Now, when we give gifts, we take time to wrap it. I don't know about what it's like in your house, but
absolutely.
Kim's the wrapper at our house because mine just looks so botched by the time I finish.
Christine,
so Kim's got, just it all nice and neat and it looks beautiful and there's shiny paper and it's all wrapped and presented well just for the kids just to destroy it and rip it all off.
Right.
But we wrap it up so it looks beautiful. Well, Jesus, the greatest gift ever given, wasn't wrapped up in fancy wrapping paper. He was wrapped up in cloths and placed in a manger. And so the big question, the question that all eternity hinges on, is this year, will you unwrap this beautiful gift of Jesus? Will you accept Jesus and what he's done for you and his life, death and resurrection? Will you accept him as your Lord and experience the hope that we've been talking about today? Now, if that's something you would love to do today, if God's prompting you in that, we're going to invite you to pray along a prayer that's going to now come up on the screen. And as you read that prayer, we'd encourage you to pray that in your heart. And you can also click in the chat and you can let us know about that decision you've made. And we'd love to help you as you start that journey with Jesus. Or
you can visit our website, follow.church, and there'll be a banner that says, I have decided. We'd love to hear from you and connect with you about the decision to be part of this awesome kingdom.
If we were to hear from some of you this Christmas, that would be the greatest gift we could ever receive. It would be so wonderful. And so we are really hoping and praying that's for you. If you're already a Christian and you already have this hope, then we hope this year that you'll understand it afresh, that it will be renewed for you as you remember what Jesus has done. But on behalf of Follow Baptist Church and everyone here, we just want to wish you a really Merry Christmas. We hope you have a wonderful New Year, and we're looking forward to great things together in 2021.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Luke and Adam, for bringing us the word tonight.
That great message of hope. Thanks, Luke and Adam, that the message that we've been following along all this month here at Follow about Jesus' birth tomorrow.
We hope you have a really special day tomorrow and that you are surrounded by family, friends, and maybe even a present or two under your tree.
And also from my family to yours, we've loved being your hosts tonight, and we just really do wish you have a really special day with your family and friends spreading the love of Jesus.
And now we're going to go to 2 amazing carols by our music team.
And after those carols, if you're looking for a local church to connect into, there's going to be some information on the screen. We've loved being your hosts tonight. We've had a great time. We hope you have too. Merry Christmas from Follow and enjoy the carols.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
By my side. night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Saviour's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born.